Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show. your team's going to be. So every guy, in my opinion, has to go prove it in training camp, and that's the way you want it to be.
I'll give you a good example of what you just talked about. Jaquan McMillan, fair to say, first of all, was 4th on the team in tackles. His stat line, his box score, his football card, not only compares favorably to Pat Surtain, it's better in almost every single category, major category. But even though Jahdae Barron was available, best player available, I get it. Jaquan McMillan might not have a job. He'll have a job on the team. But I think he has already lost his starting job.
He's already lost it, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you think? Because Riley Moss has the job and Pat Surtain has the job.
I don't think he's considered a starter anyway because...
Well, he was a nickel guy.
He's a nickel guy, but you don't start the nickel. I mean, you start with base. I mean, it depends on the personnel group. But he had a really good season a couple years ago. And then this last season, some say he fell off a little bit.
And that's one reason why.
Right.
Not the sole reason why. But when Jahdae Barron was drafted, I think a lot of people immediately thought Riley Moss is in trouble.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with Riley Moss. Had everything to do with Jaquan McMillan.
I'd say it has something to do with Riley Moss. I mean, Jaquan McMillan didn't get hurt last year. He's actually been available the last 2 seasons and has played pretty darn good on a top 5 defense. Riley Moss has been hurt 2 straight years. He had a good showing when he was injured, or I'm sorry, when he was healthy last year. Showed some good range. He's got good athleticism. He's got good height and length and good instincts. He can tackle, But 2 years in a row, 2 injuries. As an organization, you have to prepare for that. And so I think Jahdae Barron is a contingency plan for both of those guys. Yeah.
But they're looking at him to start as nickel.
Okay.
Although
I think it's going to be, let's see what these guys do at camp. And based on the skill set they show us and how they digest, and then we're going to figure it out. I don't think they have that in pen yet.
No.
I think this is an idea about what he could be, but let's go see what he is.
Okay, so the Broncos getting a lot of national attention.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny, when you're a fan, you want to hear national broadcasters talk about your team.
Yeah.
And nobody talked about the Broncos for about 7 years. Now people are talking about them.
Yeah.
And people are really starting to talk about Bo Nix. NFL.com did its top 100 list. I'll be honest with you, I was stunned to see Bo Nix at 64. I'm not suggesting he's not going to be great. I don't think he's going to have a sophomore slump. He was ahead of Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, by the way, was 5th in the league in QBR. And they put Nix ahead of him. So the Broncos are getting a lot of attention. With that,
can I comment on that number 64 thing?
Sure.
And I don't think Bo would dispute what I'm going to say. He's not there yet. Why are you putting him in a top 100? There's 32
They're
teams.
betting on the come.
No. Well, they're obsessed with quarterbacks. And so like you found your quarterback, so he must be a top 100 player in the league. Not yet. He had a good season last year and he needs to improve. He'll tell you that. He has the best offensive line in football, right? That has helped him. A really, really good defense, that has helped him. A coach who knows what he's doing, that has helped him. He has a long way to go before, in my opinion, he's considered, you know, a top 100 team or top 100 player in the league. I know we seek to anoint quarterbacks and it's a quarterback-driven league, but there's 32 teams in the league.
Yeah.
If you're the 64th, that means like there's only 2 players on each team better than you at the sport of football.
Right.
And I would say that there's several players on the Broncos who are better than Bo at their position.
Right.
Quinn Miners, you know, Nick Bonito, Pat Surtain. There's some guys in there who have proven it a little more than Bo so far. Bo had a good rookie year, but there's guys, I think, look, he still has a lot to prove, in my opinion, to the league and to himself.
Well, do you think he's due for a sophomore slump?
No.
I don't think so at all.
No, I don't think so. Look, sophomore slump, you know, there's a lot that factors into a quarterback's performance. Like the defense. How well does the defense play? Last year, the Broncos
defense.
Talking
about complimentary football.
Yeah, but, you know, the Broncos defense was incredibly opportunistic last year. They led the league in sacks. They had some huge pick sixes and return, you know, game-changing moments that bailed out maybe some mistakes they made on offense.
Right.
An offensive line that was, you know, really, really good at protecting him. Now, Bo did a lot of that good stuff himself. But if the defense takes a step back this year and there's an injury on the offensive line,
well,
you know, things like that could affect Bo's performance. And you say, oh, he took a step back. Well, no, the situation around him has changed.
Well, the situation changed around CJ Stroud, and people feel that he took a step back. You got to look at the wide receivers that went down. You have to look at other guys that went down.
Right.
So he was good, but he wasn't as good as he was in his rookie season. With that, let's get into the defense and the rest of the team.
Let's do it.
But I want to take a step back about Nix for a second. This is now, injuries are always going to play a major role.
Yeah.
When you look at the Broncos offense for Bo Nix, he has the same play caller and head coach. No change there. Since 2014, the Broncos haven't had a head coach and quarterback in consecutive years since 2014.
Pretty wild.
Which is stunning.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
So he has Payton in his corner, obviously,
yeah.
who is back.
Yeah.
Same offensive line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same wide receivers.
Love it.
So there hasn't been a lot of change on offense, but the change on offense has been major upgrades potentially. J.K. Dobbins, Harvey, and Ingram. So he has all the same guys that he played with last year. And then, in my opinion, major upgrades. This guy, I think, has a chance to really step it up. It's not like they brought in two new offensive linemen. Let's see how the offensive line works together as an orchestra. He has all the pieces in place that he had last year, minus Javonte Williams.
Yeah. I think, the guys that were in the backfield last year, they were professional running backs too.
Right.
So we got to be careful in being like, they were scrubs. Now they got these all pros in there and they're going to get cut loose. The tight end is an interesting thing with Evan Ingram and how that's going to
play. It's a wide receiver.
There's one ball to go around, right? And Bo was very good at spreading the ball around last year. So how are you going to spread the ball around? What kind of pressure is it going to put psychologically on a quarterback when you now have your joker, Evan Ingram, who's, slated to catch I don't know how many balls, or everybody's thinking he's going to be the answer there. Right. Well, do you force that? Do you force it to Evan Ingram instead of continuing to throw to the open man? Do you feel because you have these marquee players now that you got to get them the ball in spite of the system dictating where to throw it, not the guy itself that you want to get involved, right? So Bo learning the system, learning Sean Payton's playbook, I think is more important than having these certain players in place. I'll say this about defenses. Bo took a lot of people by surprise last year.
Specifically with his legs.
They're very thicker, thicker than you'd think they were. He's more stout.
Yeah.
He's harder to bring down. He saw him get hit in the backfield, get out of it, right? And he's not going to catch those people by surprise anymore. Right. They're going to have a plan for him running the football. They're also going to see what he does well and try to force him into the stuff he doesn't do well. It's not that he's getting worse. It's that the defense has a better game plan against him. So he's got to figure out how to step up in the pocket more, not bail out. I don't want to see you and I have talked about this. I don't want to see Bo running around very much. Now, pick up the first down when you need to, but Bo played with a couple injuries last year. He had a surgery in the offseason.
Right.
He played with broken bones in his back.
Right.
That's his rookie year. We don't want Bo to get hurt. And the way you don't get hurt, like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, you stand in the pocket, get rid of the football.
This is why I believe Bo Nix can take a step up, barring injuries to him or anybody else. He is so strong from here. That is his talent, and he does have a ton of talent from the neck down as well. So when Sean Payton said yesterday that he and Drew Brees got together, talking about Nix and Brees got together. And then Nix got together with Tom House. Tom House, for those that don't know, former major league pitcher. He is a throwing guru. He has worked with Tom Brady. Yeah. He has worked with Nolan Ryan. I mean, he's worked with some of the best of the best.
Tebow.
He did work with Tebow. That didn't work out as well. Well, the thing with Tebow is that he worked on the mechanics, but generally speaking, when all hell breaks loose, you kind of revert back to who you are with what you're comfortable with.
Doesn't all hell always break loose on a football field? Like what, with all due respect to Tom House, like by the time you get to the NFL, you can throw or you can't throw, right? I mean, what is this guy doing for Bo?
Are you kidding?
Am I kidding?
Oh, no. Tom House is an expert in psychology.
Oh,
okay. And an expert in throwing. That's why all these guys have gone to him. This was a really smart move. And actually, I think it was Payton that said, Nix hasn't been doing a lot of throwing this offseason. He's doing a lot of exercise, mimicking throwing to strengthen certain parts of his body so he doesn't have to keep throwing the ball and zipping it in there every time. I'll be curious to see how that offseason approach affects this upcoming season.
Yeah. I don't imagine we see a huge change in Bo Nix throwing the football. It's not going to be like, wow, he looks a lot different.
But you know what?
I think there's more of a comfort level with the system and in the pocket.
All you have to do is watch you were at OTAs like I was in mini camps. You could tell this guy is reading faster and getting the ball out faster. There's a noticeable difference.
Well, it's practice though, Eric. I mean,
I understand.
They have the plays ahead of time. They know the defense ahead of time.
But he wasn't.
But you also know the coach's expectations in practice.
But he wasn't that way last year as a rookie
because he was a rookie and he didn't.
That's
know the system, right.
So my point is, he has taken that step. Remember, he said, I think it was during OTAs or minicamp, he's like, I don't concentrate on the offense as much anymore. I'm concentrating on the defense.
Right.
That tells me you've taken that step.
Yeah.
So going back to what you're saying earlier in the show, is he going to focus and laser in on a covered Evan Ingram? No. What I notice all the time in football is the great quarterbacks always seem to throw to the open guy.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the quarterbacks the Broncos have had, whether it is Simeon or Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock, so on and so forth, they were always throwing into coverage because they didn't read the defense that well.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning.
Well, defenses are hard to read. Now, first of all, people think, just read the defense. Like, defenses are really, really good. What do you understand?
I understand they are hard to read.
But why are they hard to read?
Because they mask things at the line of scrimmage, and then they might change it up on you, and then you got to make that decision. Oh my God, they just changed with 2 seconds to go on the play clock. What am I going to do? Not
just that, but they don't even just do it with 2 seconds to go on the play clock. They wait till you snap it. They wait till the ball is snapped, and then they move to where they're supposed to be. Not only that, but man and zone, which used to be pretty clear cut. It's in man or it's in zone. Now there's combination coverages where it's man and zone and man. And these guys are carrying you here, but these guys are playing zone over here. And not only that, your receivers are seeing it different than you. So quarterbacks, it's easier for a quarterback to read coverage than it is for a receiver to read coverage. And I'll tell you why. You said you don't read, right? You don't actually read books, or you just color?
I color them.
Okay. Is it easier?
Is that a problem?
No.
I mean, making fun of me?
Is it easier?
You're making fun of me, aren't you?
Is it easier?
I like crayons.
And as do I. And I know I could tell you eat them. You have some on the corner of your mouth.
That was not necessary.
Is it easier?
That wasn't necessary.
Is it easier to work on your coloring book, Eric?
Yeah.
When you're sitting still or when you're sprinting full speed? Where is it easier to read?
I would guess while you're sitting.
Right. So quarterbacks have the benefit.
Is that the right answer?
Yeah.
What do I win?
Can I make my point, Eric?
Yeah. Can I finish? Can I finish? Ross Perot.
So the Ross Perot reference I wasn't expecting. So quarterbacks sit still, right? And they're looking. They're just watching. They're not moving. Eyeballs aren't bouncing around. They're sitting still. So they're able to see movement in a different way than a receiver is, for example, who's sprinting through a zone.
Sure.
And his eyeballs are bouncing and he's full speed and this guy moving over here in his peripheral. It's hard for these guys. So you got to be also on the same page with the receivers. Right. And so the Teddy Bridgewaters and the, Trevor Simeons, who maybe didn't have a ton of experience or a ton of continuity in the system with the guys they were playing with, they weren't on the same page. And so there was a lot of guesswork happening. So the guys like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, who seem to, have the game slow down, see the whole field, throw to open man, it's also because they're on the same page with the receivers and the receivers know what's expected of them.
Here's another reason why I think Nix will improve, because he understands the plays now. Now, for Sean Payton, he likes long play calls, long and confusing.
Yeah. So look, if we're gonna think about it. So when you're looking at, imagine having that in your ear.
You're mocking him, but the truth is
that's how he talks.
You're not wrong.
Well, you made fun of my Sean Payton impression last time, but now you're seeing there's some truth to it.
No, there's definitely truth to it.
Because he goes, and then and then you're gonna want to.
So the play's getting in not as fast as you would like,
right?
But with Bo's understanding of the offense, there was a particular game last year. I can't remember which one it was, and I talked about it on the radio show I did with Bruce, that the Broncos seemed to get to the line of scrimmage with about under 10 seconds. Which doesn't allow the quarterback to read the defense at all. So I charted plays. What was the result of the play 10 seconds to go on the play clock. What was the result of
you did that?
I did.
Eric, that's some high level analysis.
We'll have 64 crayons to work with and a sharpener. The more time that Bo Nix had to get to the line of scrimmage, when it was like 15 seconds, it usually resulted in a positive play.
Yeah.
But when it was 5-6 seconds to go, I'm not saying he threw interceptions all over the place. He didn't throw a lot of interceptions anyway, but he had less of a chance to read that defense. Now
exactly. It's about the defense, right?
Right.
And that's why Peyton Manning would get to the line of scrimmage with 30 seconds left on the play clock.
Correct.
So just be like, say a bunch of random words and then have them show what they're going to do. And then be like, okay, Omaha, now we're going to do the real thing we want. Omaha, just kidding. That's not the real thing we want. And he's getting everybody to show. And so that takes you trusting your offense is going to be in the right spot.
Yeah.
You know, knowing where they're supposed to be and not thinking about the motion and the shifting. But like you said before, that Bo's focusing on the defense. And the quicker you can get to the line of scrimmage, the more you can watch that, see that unfold, and then get ready to, make a decision with the football.
He's got really good legs. He can make all the throws.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a Jeff George cannon or a Jay Cutler cannon or a John Elway cannon.
Adequate, though.
His gift is up here. And the great quarterbacks, this is where they are gifted. What are your expectations this season from a 10-7 team? Regular season, playoffs, division.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough conversation because so many things change from year to year. I think the Broncos returned the highest percentage of players on any team, like 82% or something.
Can I throw in one stat here?
Yeah.
Of their top 15 defensive players last year who took snaps, 14 are back.
Yeah.
The entire offensive line is back.
Right.
The entire wide receiver room is back.
Right. And that's rare.
Yeah.
That's rare. Typically, you got about a 30% turnover.
Right.
But you're still going to have some new guys in that room, right?
Right.
And you got some new coaches, and it's just a new season. So and like we said before, you're not taking as many people by surprise. Also, the Broncos played the NFC South last year. A bunch of underachieving teams, shall we say. Not a very good division. They were able to go 4-0, I think, in that against them.
Everybody went 4-0 in that.
Yeah, right. Everybody went 4-0 against them, right?
Right.
And then the FC West probably gets a little better. Now, maybe the Chiefs get a little worse. I think they're vulnerable, personally. But the Raiders have to be better, right? With Pete Carroll, he knows what he's doing.
Yep.
And then Harbaugh in his second year is going to be better. So it's going to be more of a challenge.
They won 11 games in Harbaugh's first year.
Pretty impressive.
I think calling it impressive is insulting all things that are impressive.
And they did it not really like in a very powerful way. Like, they kind of quietly had 11.
They did it with a rookie wide receiver in Ladd McConkey.
Yeah. Well,
beyond impressive.
There's a lot of teams with rookie wide receivers that do well.
Okay. But in their first year, they make that big of an impact. Your Jamar Chases are going to. The top level guys. Ladd McConkey was a second-round pick.
Johnson Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars was like a third-round pick and had an incredible year. That said, the division is better.
Yes.
The Broncos' schedule is going to probably be a little more challenging. I think they're going to probably be around that 10-win mark. Okay?
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think they're going to win 13, 14 games, and I also don't think they're going to be a losing team. I think they're going to be right around 9, 10, 11 wins. And again, it's going to be, trying to get into the playoffs. But I do see a real opportunity to dethrone the Chiefs. We've talked about this before, Eric. Last year, although they went to the Super Bowl, they won every game by like this much. And to me, they're getting caught.
Yeah.
They're getting caught. Teams are catching up. They got, fortunate with a lot of, fortune is you make your own fortune. They're very good at winning those tight games. But I think they're a year older and they're slowing down a little bit.
It's kind of like the AFC East with the Patriots. The difference is when Tom Brady was there with the Patriots, the Jets and the Bills, Miami never really improved like the teams in the AFC West.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the four coaches right there. Then you have Herbert. Whether you like Geno Smith or not, look at the running back that they just drafted.
Yeah.
But in the AFC East, it was over before it started because nobody really improved that much consistently. In this division, it's a buzzsaw. You would make the argument the NFC Central is the best division, and I could buy that argument.
The NFC Central doesn't exist. North, south,
North.
east, west.
I'm sorry.
This guy's living in the 80s over here, in the 90s.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, when you're talking about the Smythe division in hockey,
the AFL versus the NFL. This is pre-merger.
Well, I did that.
Post-merger.
I did that for Jesse because Jesse is a big hockey fan. I wanted to bring in. I wanted to bring in the Campbell Conference and the Smythe division because I wanted to go way back.
Wow.
But piggybacking onto what you said about the schedule last year, they were 1-7 against teams that made the playoffs.
Okay.
Last year, they were 8-0 against teams that were under 500.
Okay.
And 5 of those games were against teams that lost 12 games or more.
Wow.
So they did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
They just couldn't beat, for lack of a better phrase, the really good teams. And those are the teams, unfortunately, that you play in the playoffs. So the question is this: how good are the Broncos looking at their division last year? They couldn't beat good teams.
Yeah.
What makes us think they're going to be good teams this year? I agree with you that I think they are a 9, 10, maybe an 11-win team. I say that because of continuity, and I say that because of Bo Nix. That last year, I can see why they won those games, but I think they are up to the test now to at least go toe-to-toe with the better teams.
I'll say this: you're not going to apologize for going 8-0 against bad teams.
No,
that's exactly what
your schedule is,
right?
That's what your schedule is.
Yeah, and you're supposed to beat the bad teams, right? That to me is an indicative of a young team,
right,
with a rookie quarterback. And now they're a year older. They're a year with more experience. They went to the playoffs. They went to Buffalo and got their asses handed to them and understood what it's going to take to win in the playoffs. Is a bit different from what it takes to win in the regular season. So they learned a lot of lessons last year, and they were in some close games that they lost to those playoff teams you talked about, 1-7 versus playoff teams. And I think that they're going to learn how to beat those teams.
You played in the playoffs. What is the difference between the energy and the physicality between the regular season and the playoffs?
Yeah.
And that's what the Broncos learned. There's a big difference from your perspective as a guy who played in the playoffs. How big of a gap is there between playing in the regular season and the playoffs in terms of intensity and everything that goes with it, knowing that you don't know what to expect? And most of the guys on that team had no idea what to expect.
Yeah. There's a lot of things, it's the environment you walk into. If you're on the road, you walk into, a stadium like Buffalo was. And we played my first 2 years, we played on the road in Indy.
Right.
Against Peyton Manning and those Colts.
Right.
Twice in a row. And it was so loud. You couldn't hear yourself think. It was the loudest stadium I had ever been in.
It was awful to watch. I was in the press box for
right.
It was like watching your puppy get chained to a fence, and then a group of neighborhood kids just walk up and start kicking that puppy.
Yeah, well, I was the puppy.
It was awful.
You know what I mean? And
wait, was that the Rock Alexander game?
What happened?
In Indy?
He's got torched
by like Reggie Wayne.
Yeah,
I think he had like 223 yards.
I mean, we couldn't do anything right there.
I think Rock went into the witness relocation program after that game. He disappeared off the planet.
Well, that'll do it.
I felt badly for him.
That'll do it, getting torched like that. But from preseason to regular season, there's a jump in intensity.
Yeah.
From practice to preseason, there's a jump. And then there's a jump in intensity from regular season to playoffs. But it's still just football. The problem is that your weaknesses really do get exposed in those moments. At the end of the season, everybody's body's beat up. You've already played 18 to 20 games, including preseason games. And so the team that has the ability to control the pace of the game and control and run the football is a team that's probably going to win those playoff matchups. The Buffalo Bills absolutely crushed the Broncos on the ground. They ran it right down their throats. And conversely, as good as the Broncos front seven was, they got pushed around, and the Broncos couldn't run the football on offense, and they couldn't do it all year long.
Would it surprise you if I told you that the Broncos had the third best rushing defense in the league? And then you watch that playoff game, and they get steamrolled.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's more of a deeper reason for that.
I'm going to tell you what the deeper reason is.
Oh, yeah, you tell me my answer.
It's because what you believe, because you and I have talked about this. You believe, that's what you've told me, that the defense might take a step back, right?
I think they could.
Right.
Because it's not just, adding better players doesn't mean you're going to be a better defense. Okay, this is on paper.
Right.
You don't play football on paper. Now you added Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw,
Yep.
Jade Barron.
Yep.
Who knows who else is going to make an impact in there? So these are great players who have done great things elsewhere. But now it's a new team. This is a chemistry experiment when you're putting a team together. Last year, they led the league in sacks. They have a better team on paper now. Does that mean they're going to have more sacks and they're going to lead the league in sacks again? Well, that doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, the Eagles had like 70 sacks, right? They didn't do it the next year. And so they did lose more players from that team.
Yep.
But there's so many things that have to go right for you to have as good of a season last year as they did on defense. And I just think that the offense, look, we were hoping the defense is the number one defense in the league, but the offense needs to prepare for that not to be the case.
Right.
They cannot rely on that. The Broncos offense was about a middling offense last year. They had some really nice moments, but they were about a middle of the pack type of offense.
They scored 25 points a game.
They need to be better if the Broncos want to make waves and win a playoff game.
Now I'm just going to argue against myself because we're going to go back to last year's schedule. They ran up the score on bad teams. When they played good teams, they were scoring 10 points.
Yeah, like the Chiefs, they scored the last game of the
14.
season? No, the last game of the season,
38.
Yeah, whatever it was. So that helps your average there.
But they went to Kansas City and still only scored 14.
They should have won that game, though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Against the Ravens, they scored 10. Look at the good teams that they played.
Yeah.
And look at what the offense did and what the defense did.
Yeah.
And it's not pretty. The argument against the defense being a great defense last year is look at the quarterbacks they played. Now, it's not their fault. You play who's on your schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't playing a whole bunch of all-pro, Hall of Fame.
Well, there's just not a lot of those guys anymore in the league either. Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are leaving something to be desired.
Right.
There are the Matt Staffords and the Aaron Rodgers, but he's not even playing at that high of a level anymore. But there's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, those guys. But there's really only 5 to 8 of those guys who you're really afraid of. You know what I mean? And he went toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow, and they probably could have, should have won, maybe not should have. They went toe-to-toe. They took it to overtime, right? And so those are some really good signs there. But this is still a young team.
When teams trade for players or bring in free agent players, if you're a good team, they're looking for the final piece, right? They're looking for the final piece.
Yeah.
I think Hufanga and Greenlaw are those guys.
The final piece.
Well, because of their attitude, because of their history, because of the way they hit, because of everything. The Broncos defense has dogs on it. Right.
Oh, wait, what kind of dogs?
DAWGS.
Not
No, not little, not ankle biters.
No.
So they brought in 2 guys who are accomplished.
Yeah.
When Dre Greenlaw is on, do you know this guy's never even made I don't believe he hasn't even made a Pro Bowl.
Well, I mean, how many years has he been in the league?
He's been in the league more than a few years, but I think when he's on, he's probably considered considered one of the best middle linebackers in the league.
The problem is and there's not a problem, but he was standing next to Fred Warner for the last 4 years or whatever. And Fred Warner is, consensus best middle linebacker in the league.
Right.
But they were able to do a 1-2 punch type of thing.
Yep.
Fred Warner was a cerebral dude, always in the right place. And Dre Greenlaw was the psychopath who would hit you like a missile and come out of nowhere and blow plays up. And that's the same thing that can happen here with Alex Singleton.
But Singleton's not Warner.
But he's similar to Warner. He's always nose for the football, tackling machine, very smart, always in the right place, reading off it. That's Alex Singleton.
Right.
Alex Singleton is not a guy who's going to come up and dislodge the ball from you and absolutely blow you up.
Right.
Alex Singleton is a sound football player, always in the right spot, tackling machine. That's what Fred Warner is. And so I think this could free up Dre Greenlaw to have a similar role and not be like, you got to be the green dot signal caller here. No.
Right.
As long as Alex Singleton is healthy, he's going to be the green dot. He's going to be the quarterback, and Dre Greenlaw is going to get to play free.
When you were at training camp and all the fans were around,
and
they were always asking for autographs, did you enjoy doing it? But more specifically, if you had a 65-year-old guy walk up to you and hand you a Sharpie and a piece of paper, did you kind of look at him and go, dude, you need to get a life?
No, I mean, like, you did start to see some of the same adult males who would always be at the same events and always getting. So, like, why do you need another one?
Well, let me tell you why
what,
I'm asking. The Broncos have a new policy.
Yeah.
There's a kids zone now
Yeah.
at training camp.
Yeah.
If you're between the ages of 5 and 15, you are allowed in the kids zone.
Yeah.
And you're the only ones who are allowed to ask for autographs.
Yeah.
My question is, how many parents are going to try and skirt the rules by saying, listen, I know you're 17, but you haven't gone through puberty yet. You can go in the kids zone. They won't even know.
Okay. Well, I don't think the Broncos are going to be checking IDs for this policy.
Right?
You know, I don't think they really care.
Patrick
if
Smythe's out there. Let me see your grammar school ID.
What they don't want is the collector coming in and just scooting the kids to the side and getting his, reaching his hairy arm across and being like, So no, I like that policy. Keep it for the kids,
Do me a favor here. So these are the show notes for our inaugural show. Would you give me an autograph on here? Yeah. So right now, this piece of paper is worth nothing.
Right now.
Now, when you sign it, what is going to be the value?
Still nothing.
I would agree.
Until we do something really cool here.
I would totally agree with you.
But I will tell you that there are some folks tuning in here. We've got some pretty good viewership here. And we thank you guys all for joining us on this inaugural.
This is going right up on the refrigerator.
Oh, good.
Which I'm very, very excited about. So this is the inaugural show that we did.
Yeah.
Going deep with Jackson and Goodman.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing this show every Monday and Thursday.
That's right.
During training camp. It's going to be at 3:00.
Yeah.
During the season, it's going to be at 11:00. Sometimes we might change those times. You can watch live on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can watch live on X. You can always see this on demand as well on YouTube and X. We're on Instagram. We are on TikTok. And we hope you watch the show.
Do you have a TikTok?
No. I don't want one.
Why not? I can really see you putting together a really cool dance and like really doing it like in your kitchen. You like to cook, right? So you put look at his face, putting like some pasta together, chopping some broccoli, and just doing a cool dance.
Would you do a TikTok dance?
No.
Why?
Because
you know what? Before we end the show, if we can zoom out on this, Nate, can you step up? Can you stand up for a second?
Really?
Yeah.
We can't zoom. I don't think we can.
Okay, well, just stand up anyway. Hopefully your head's still in the picture. Okay, well, get on your knees. No, I'm kidding.
Gosh.
I want to see what your TikTok video would look like.
No. I put that to you, Eric. This is a hypothetical involving you.
What was your end zone celebration?
Well, I had one that I never really did.
One time in the end zone or one end zone?
One that I wanted to do. Okay. And it's still never been done. And if somebody does it, it's a really brilliant one, actually. Because I was into music and making music and stuff like that.
Rapper, you're a rapper.
Yeah, I was a rapper. I am a rapper.
You are Vanilla Ice Light.
No.
Okay, Eminem Light. Is that better?
No, not all white rappers are Vanilla Ice or Eminem. Some are just, musicians who like to make music. Yeah. Okay. But here was the one I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Score, you spin the ball.
Right.
And as it's spinning, you scratch it like a record. See, you're too old to think it's cool.
Well, I'm too old.
You just act like you've been there. Hand them the ball and walk back to the sideline and drink your Gatorade. I mean,
who are you impersonating?
You.
That's not how I talk.
Is it not?
No, listen.
We'll let the audience be the judge.
Do I sound like that? Do I sound like this?
A little bit.
All right, that's going to do it for us.
All right.
First edition of our show, Going Deep with Jackson and Goodman. We will see you on Thursday at 3:00.